Hi guys. I thought it wasn't going to start then. If you'd like to join me on a drive and a chit chat, make yourself a cup of tea, and I'll start talking rubbish. Oops. Don't say that about yourself, Gerald. Put yourself down. I'm not putting myself down, that's what other people say. We all talk rubbish anyway. So, just that maybe I might talk more rubbish than others. So, ooh, guy was reversing. I thought he was going to reverse back into that white van, so I was saying, careful, don't reverse back. So many in this area. There's so many of those bloody sausage dogs, Dutch hounds, and those dogs could live a long life, you know, a long time. I think it must be some kind of a fashion or something. There's at least like two on the road where my friend lives. I've seen at least 3 or 4 different ones, you know, just walking around. I think it must be the most popular dog in this area, the most popular breed. Strange, isn't it? The place where I'm staying now, it's in the... Oh my goodness, Timmy's just blown off. I've just changed their diet and I give them more veggies. More vegetables and more kind of leftover veggies, so maybe that's it. Betty's the worst, the mum. When she blows off, it's disgusting. My God, I don't know what it's like. Sulfur, you know, those sulfur farts, the methane. I don't know what chemicals are coming out of her, but it's nasty, really nasty. The other dogs don't have that problem. But because I've changed the diet for all of these guys, also he's on prednisone, and he's starving. Like, he eats a lot more than he usually eats. So the vet said that he's gonna put on weight this month. And in fact, today when I fed all of them, usually I feed Betty first because she's so slow. And usually Timmy and Dave, because I have Timmy and Dave with me, they wait. Timmy couldn't wait. He was eating her food, so he ate 2 pieces of chicken, like chicken wings, or a wing and a drumstick. And I had to tell him off. I said, no, and I had to put it back. His drumsticks, I took 1 drumstick and a chicken wing and gave it to Betty. They're like, he can't wait. So that prednisone, that steroid, makes you feel really hungry. So that's what the vet said, that he's going to put on weight. So that's good, because he's skinny. You can feel his bones on his back. But I'm not sure if it's because he's skinny. It's that he's got a weird structure. Like, his bones are weird, like they stick out. You know, I don't know. He's just born different. He's just got a different. The bones on his hips, they stick out a lot, like your scapula. If you're, is it scapulae? The bones in your back, usually they go this way. But if you've got hypermobile. Well, I've got hypermobile ball and socket joints, my shoulders, and I can make them come out and the scapula go upwards like this instead of going this way. So, for example, can you see my bones the scapula go like this, but then I can release the ball and socket joints, and then they will stick out like this. So it's not normal, and he's not normal. He's got some weird shape. Weird. His bones are weird. You know, someone will be saying, well, maybe they're underweight. They definitely are underweight because I only feed them once a day because I don't have enough food. But I give them what they need. They don't go without. I give them the protein that they need. Fat, they don't need much fat. And I give them a little bit of carbohydrate. But I used to feed them not very well. I used to give them spaghetti, cheap spaghetti. And, you know, they did okay apart from him. And I'm not saying this is the reason, but he may have had this problem that he has, this fungal infection on his skin anyway. But just to make sure, I've put him on a hypoallergenic diet, which means no chicken, mainly fish. So the fish protein is less likely to, I think it's less likely to give problems when it comes to allergies. I don't think it's an actual allergy, it's probably an intolerance. Well, anyway, will give him less problems. Whereas red meat may give him problems, white meat maybe less. But I was giving them chicken for a long time, so now I have him on fish. Fish is not bad. It's quite cheap. You can get sardines are cheap if you can get them. And yeah, he likes sardines. But I still give him some chicken because he sees the other dogs eating chicken, so the ingestion of chicken is a lot less. So that's what's going on with the dogs. The house still waiting for someone to, you know, grab onto the bait. Nobody's buying. So, as I said, we live in the countryside, and maybe it's difficult to. It's really slow selling this house. So I don't know. When it comes to my health, I was doing the carnivore diet, and it gave me this xanthelasma. I'm sure it gave me the xanthelasma because I've seen other people online who have this xanthelasma, and they got it when they went onto a keto diet and the carnivore diet. I think 3 occasions, 3 examples, 3 incidences or whatever. And so, yeah, I'm thinking that's what it is. But I went on a carnivore diet and keto and nothing happened to me. Everyone's different, isn't it? Everyone's different. Some people cannot handle a high cholesterol diet because their livers don't work as well as another person's. So the problem isn't cholesterol, it's cholesterol handling. Your liver can't handle too much cholesterol because either it's sluggish or there's some problem there, you know, diet wise or genetics. You know, with myself, I've got Gilbert syndrome, which means that every time I had a blood test, I had a really high bilirubin. And so I think Dr. Eilieve in London, he was my doctor. He found it out when in my 20s, and he said, "Oh, if you go to another doctor, just let them know you've got Gilbert syndrome." I didn't know what the hell he was talking about. He said, "You see here, your bilirubin is always high, but you don't have any other symptoms." I said, "Oh, okay." So, although I didn't have any other symptoms, I should have, you know, if I was more tuned in, I should have thought about my liver, but I didn't. You know, as a normal person, you go to the doctor only when you need help. You know, you keep eating crisps, chocolates, McDonald's. You think that's normal. Everybody else does that. Apart from the odd meal that I used to eat at home. My mum used to make nice food, my dad, but for 10 years my mum was looking after my grandmother in Sicily, so I never had the chance to eat that lovely food. I used to go every once in a while, and she used to come every once in a while when she found someone to take over, because my grandmother was paralyzed. Yeah, so when she came back from Sicily, then she within a short time she got the cancer, and within 2 years she passed away. So I never really could spend time with my mum for the last 12 years of her life. I did and I didn't, like, even though she was ill, she's still my mum. I used to go to the hospital, and we spent time together. And in those 10 years I used to see her every once in a while. But I mean, ourselves as a family in London, a normal, happy family, like healthy, the last 12 years of her life, 12 years before she passed away, that was the last time. I had nice food, a nice environment. Because what I'm getting at is, it all helps, doesn't it? It all affects you. Not only having a nice meal, but having a nice meal with your loved ones. In my case, my mother and father, them being healthy, but not terminally ill, at least. And yeah, that happiness makes you feel good as well. Makes you feel safe. Yeah, but as I was saying, I should have looked into what Gilbert syndrome is. It's basically a sluggish liver. Your liver, from what I understand, it's a sluggish liver. Your liver's not getting rid of bile and cholesterol as it should. And years later, I realized when I was diagnosed, it was about 15 years ago, I was diagnosed with fatty liver disease and cholesterol polyps that can turn cancerous. So that's why I have to have a scan every year. If they reach a certain size, because they can very closely, they could just migrate to the liver. So then I started researching and looking after my liver. I started to do coffee enemas, and I've done them for the last 13 years, almost every day. But the caffeine isn't really good for me, I've realized. So taking caffeine by mouth is bad for me because I have acid reflux. Taking it rectally also, you've got caffeine in your system and it's going to make you nervous, but it does cleanse you or detox you. So now I have to find other ways to do it, like to take herbs like dandelion, milk thistle, tudka in the morning. I can take things that are really, really, really bitter and help speed up the process, the sluggish liver. Drinking lots of water is good, but if I drink lots of water, I get more reflux. So I don't know how I'm going to wiggle my way around that, snake my way around. I don't know. Yeah, so sometimes you watch these podcasts and you have these experts. All right, there was an expert. What's her name? Rhonda Patrick. She's a famous YouTuber in the health field, health, longevity, stroke. I don't know what it is. And she's a really intelligent lady, but it doesn't give her a free pass, because we're all biased, all of us. From the dumbest to the most intelligent, we're all biased, and we get things wrong. You can never be completely right, completely 100% right. So I was looking at a video today. She was talking about coffee and how coffee is good for you. 3 cups. Studies show, yeah, 3 cups, 3 cups or more, or no, 3 cups or less, you get a certain benefit. You have less Alzheimer's disease, less all-cause mortality and things like that. Because in coffee there's many antioxidants. So it's a very powerful antioxidant mixture. So that may be the case, but I've seen studies. Luckily, I'm paranoid about my health, and I've seen studies where I think it's chlorogenic acid, which is an acid, it's a compound inside coffee, has been studied, and they showed that chlorogenic acid is bad for your heart. The compound inside inside coffee. So how about that study? Why doesn't she talk about that study? Why doesn't she talk about other studies that show that caffeine is actually not so good for your heart, not so good for people with an anxiety problem? If you have anxiety, you drink coffee, it will increase your anxiety even more. If you have coffee and you've got a stomach problem, if you've got acid reflux problem, it's not good for you. So there's many reasons why coffee is bad, but she's just highlighting a few studies, how, so you might be saying, well, why is it then that coffee reduced all-cause mortality? Well, how do you know it was coffee? Was it a randomized control study where people just drank coffee and ate a certain diet? Maybe it was something else. And what about all the other people that it didn't reduce or cause mortality? What about them? Are you going to count those people out? Unless it's like 90%, 99%. People who drink coffee, like, have a reduced all-cause mortality of 99% of them. It won't be that figure. So you have to factor in other things. Maybe people who drink coffee, have that Mediterranean lifestyle. They eat the Mediterranean food, fruit, veg, some, healthy grains, homemade food, whole foods, maybe they will walk a little bit, maybe they drink a bit of wine or whatever they do. De-stress, they have social interactions. So, yeah, so I was just thinking, people who, all these so-called experts, I don't know, piss me off. Because they say, this study shows this study shows that. So what do? Just like a headless chicken, just like a lemon, you follow them. Oh, let me drink some coffee, it's really good for you. Yeah. Then another study shows how bad coffee is. Most coffees have got mold inside, and you're basically drinking mold. And what that does to the body. So it's so confusing. Coffee has been shown to be bad for your heart. What study? Well, look for it and you'll find it. For anxiety, it's definitely bad. For ulcer, it's bad. For stomach acid, for GERD, it's bad. For insomnia, if you drink it at night, you might not get insomnia, but you won't have a deep sleep. So it's bad for so many things, and she's focusing on just one thing. And because she has that platform, people hear it and they say, oh yeah, coffee is really good because Rhonda Patrick says so. And they just follow her blindly. See, unless you have an anxiety problem, then you'll realize what coffee does to you. Unless you've got acid reflux or a problem, a chronic problem, and you'll realize once you have coffee what it does to you. So, is coffee good or bad? Well, yeah, how long is a piece of string? It's good for some people, and it's bad for others. So, yeah. Just to talk about that, basically. Sometimes you hear these things on YouTube. To be honest, I'm just fed up with watching YouTube videos, all these so-called experts. Hey, look at me, watch my video. No, watch my video. No, no. And all their thumbnails. Oh, there was one person said, judging by your thumbnail, you look gay, and it says it figures. That's probably some clapped out old banger that was pissed off of my why I don't date and advice for men over 60. Another person says I don't know what the hell he or she said. It doesn't really matter to me. But says something about me sucking the energy of young women. Like, and I don't know, God knows what else she said. I think it's a she. And I should look at myself, you know. I think the person doesn't understand the joke, you know. Like, I would seriously say that I want to suck the energy of a young woman and then become young myself, and she'll become a clapped out old banger. It just shows that the person who's probably wrote back is a clapped out old banger with no, with some cognitive problem. She doesn't realize it's a fucking joke. Like, there's no understanding there. It's a fucking joke. Yeah, it's funny. I think they know it's a joke, but they wanna prod. They wanna. That's all right. No problem. Um, yeah, I don't check my comments anymore. But my friend tells me, oh, there's this comment, and some comments, like the gay one, like figures. I'm not gonna delete it or anything. I'll just leave it. So the person that said, what is it? With that thumbnail of you smiling or something, you look gay. It figures. All that shows me is that you're homophobic. So what's wrong with being gay? I'm gay. I'm happy. That's what it used to mean, right? And it's like cool to be gay nowadays. So, um, as I said before, these people are all hard, all tough behind their little keyboards, but they never come out onto YouTube and show their faces. Um, I do it because I'm a bit nutty. I don't give a shit. I don't care about my family, relatives, or anybody finding out about any of my stuff. And you can call it a strength, but it's not really a strength. It's just a little bit nutty, I suppose. But I don't find it nutty. I just find it as it's just me. I just don't care. Whereas other people have got. I suppose it's because I'm a loner and um, I don't associate with anybody. So I'm talking to myself here, and then I just put it online later on. No one's gonna come back to me and say, "Oh, Gerald, I saw your video that you. Oh, it's so embarrassing. Oh, why'd you talk about that?" I've got no one to to come back and say to me, um, to to feel embarrassed, um, to feel embarrassed about that thing. You need to associate with other people, don't you? You need to yeah, have a family, have to have relatives, but if you don't, then how can you feel embarrassed? You know. So when someone says, "Oh, you look gay," okay, all right, I look gay, and you don't. Okay, next one. You should be ashamed of yourself. Oh, okay, next one. You know, uh, all I know is none of these people will create a channel or create videos themselves. So it's easy for them to, well, all of us to judge, but it's easy for them to say things like, "You're an idiot. You're this. You're that." but they don't have the bollocks or the guts to actually make a video themselves and confront you head on, or even in public, confront you, because nobody wants confrontation. They like to uh, like how do you call it, like a sniper, shoot from the bushes from far away and then run like a coward. Most people are cowards, and that's okay. That's how it should be, because you wouldn't want to fight against an animal that can beat you up, or there's a chance where that you can get hurt. You only fight against a smaller animal. There's that prey predator thing, and as human beings we're the same, we're animals. So it's not that people are yeah, it is that people are afraid. They'll talk, they'll say bad stuff, knowing that there's no, they won't get a comeback. They won't get punished. They can say what they want, but they can say it they can say all this stuff and hide in the shadows and then run, because the internet is anonymous. Yeah, there's I think other comments I got. Like, one guy said, I can't believe a man in his 60s is talking about virginity and stuff like that. And then I think, well, what is it you don't believe in? What is it that I'm in my 60s? I'm not in my 60s. I'm fucking 58. And what can't I talk about, like virginity and stuff like that? I didn't say that I want a woman that's a virgin. I didn't say anything like that. All I said is the kind of person when I was younger that I wouldn't, I'm that kind of person. And this is all down to like your upbringing. When you have this is my opinion, when you have a mother who, my mother, I assume, was a virgin when she married my dad. She was 14 years of age, and my dad was 18. I was a fucking pedophile. Well, that's the way it was in those days. They grew up on a farm, and I don't know. They got married in Sicily. It was allowed, and it was after the war. Yeah, and the model of a woman that I have in my mind, that as young boys we have, is our mother. That's the first woman that we know. And so, if my mum was like dancing on tables and in nightclubs, and that's the model that I would have of a woman. My mother, I think, oh yeah, that's cool. Doing that stuff is cool. So, that's the model that I have. My father, a hard-working man, and my mother, a homemaker. But when it comes to the intimacy thing, that's the model that I have of a woman. And then there are studies out there. What fucking studies? Well, you fucking look for them. I'm not your fucking textbook. That show that the more partners, because it could be a woman, even a woman, that women have, the more chance, the higher the risk of a divorce, or the higher the rates of divorce. I'm not sure the figures, but something like, if the woman's had if the woman's had no men, like, the chances of divorce is like 20% or 29% or something. If the woman's had up to 3 men, then it bumps up to about 40 or whatever. If the woman has had more than 10, 20 men, the risk of divorce is massive. So I just saw this a few days ago, and I was thinking, wow, I was right. And I'm just going by my instinct. I'm not going by any graphs or any studies. But then when I saw the study, I realized, yeah, of course. And it makes sense, because you are not special. As a man, that woman has been plowed by other men. And that ploughing is very important for a woman. I think it's important. It's an emotional act. For men, it's a physical, but also is emotional. But for women, it's more of an emotional thing. You don't stand a chance. If you are the only man in her life, I mean, it just makes sense. You think women are just these fucking robots that you can plow and it doesn't make any difference. For a woman, I assume for a woman, if she's made love with one man, and she loves that one man, and then the man passes away or whatever, and then she gets married again, and then she has for no fault of her own, then she has various relationships. Yes, it's different, and she loves the man that she's with, right? But that first man that, whatever life took away from her or whatever, is special. And that's what you're dealing with. That's what you're fighting against. So that's what I was trying to say. I was trying to say that there's nothing wrong with wanting to be special. That's all I was saying. All I was saying was, like, I wish I found a woman and she was a virgin or had no virgin. What am I fucking talking about? I'll say it plain. A virgin. And so some younger guys might be saying, oh, this is fucking hilarious. I saw, what was it, a video about a lady. She's 36 years of age and a virgin still. So it can happen, Oh, but that's fucking rare. Well, I'm not hoping to get married. No, I'm not hoping to get married with anyone now. But, I think it is possible. And then aren't women taught, go for your dreams. Don't care about what people think. Just set goals and go for your dream. Go for it. You deserve it. Like when a fucking man has a goal or a dream, allow him to have that fucking dream. Of course it's not going to happen, but just allow him to fucking dream. Can't even fucking dream without some clapped out old banger saying, what about the amount of women that you've had? Well, it's not the fucking same, is it? If men and women are the same, well, make women go to war then. Let's see when men and women are the same. It's not the same. Women, as I said, are precious and society won't let them go to war, but society will allow them to vote. What's wrong with fucking voting? Well, you can vote in a government that sends men to war, to their death. Do you get it? Is it fair? No, it's not fair. Life is not fair. Men and women are different. And so, when it comes to body count, there is a massive difference. There's no equality. People talk about, where's the equality? There's no fucking equality. I don't understand. Like, even men say, one of my, I think it's a man, said, what, doesn't she has a right to a past. Yeah, and I have a right to fucking reject it. It's as if, like, she has a right to her past, so you have to accept it. No, I don't. She has a right to her past and shagging, but I have a right to have a clean vessel. I have a right to have a woman who's had a low body count, if none. Otherwise, I'll stay alone. And then the same guy says, I'm digging my own grave or something like that. What the fuck are you talking about? You talk about yourself. Like, me... No, I think he said something like, I'm my own executioner. Well, in order to be an executioner, you have to have a judge. You're judging, and I'm the executioner. No, stupid comment from a nice person. But we all have we have a difference of opinion. I think your opinion is wrong. I'm my own executioner. I'm not going to lower my standards. It's not a standard, actually. It's not a standard at all. Even an old man wants a younger woman. I'm not talking about 16 years old. I'm talking about 30, 40. That's disgusting. What the fuck is disgusting? So for a woman, woman in her 50s, I like a toy boy, man in his 20s or 30s. There's nothing disgusting about it. Nothing. It's totally acceptable. Isn't that sexist? For a man to have some fucking, you know, and then somebody says, well, if you're looking for a perfect woman, you have to be perfect yourself. No, because there's no equality. That's the thing you don't understand. People are so hell-bent in this equality. Everything is... Remember, a Taoist saying, there are no straight lines in nature. So go and meditate on that. Where in nature do you see equality or straight lines? There are no straight lines. Everything is crooked. There's yin and there's yang. But it's a stupid communist mentality that you've been brainwashed with, that seeks to make everything equal. So you tell me, where is the equality then with men and women? You find me one sport or one endeavor where women are much better than men at. I was trying to think about it. And for me, it's not important. I don't care. You know, I'm not trying to say, yeah, men are better than women in everything. No, I'm not. But I'm just trying to think, when it comes to physical sports, or almost any endeavor, where are women better than men? I think, like cooking, no, that's sexist. It's not sexist at all. From my own experience, my mum was a fantastic cook. Even though my dad was a chef, he could not beat her when it came to cooking, because she made the food, I think, with love. And the way a woman like looks after her child, her baby and all that, she has that mothering ability that a man doesn't really have in general. So those are the two things I think that women are really good at, that men can't really go near. When they make food, they make it with love. These are just my experiences. I'm not, it sounds like it, but I'm not putting women down. Women are good for something. Don't know what, but they are good for things. You can see all those women like not fucking understanding that I'm joking, you know. But in the joke, there is the truth there. What are women good at? We're good at being compassionate. Yeah. Compassion, yeah. If the world was ruled with women, there wouldn't be any wars. I'll tell you, yeah. Till it came to their time of the month, then there'll be fucking wars, all right? There'll be nukes and everything going off. No, I'm just joking, but aren't men allowed to have a dream? Is it just women that are allowed to dream, allowed to have someone younger than you? You deserve it. If I was gay, I would probably be allowed. Yeah, I'm in my 50s. I'm allowed to have a young man. Because I deserve it. 40 years of age, 30 years of age, a toy boy, why not? And no one will be saying anything. Because you are brainwashed with this fucking communist bollocks. Communism, cultural Marxist, and now this wokery that says, basically puts down the straight white man. You see, if you're gay, look at it. Oh, it's okay. You can have a young man. If you're in your 50s and you want a young woman in her 40s, a fucking disgusting bastard. What's the fucking difference? The difference is, because in your tiny mind, you believe that being gay is actually wrong, and but just let them do what they want, you know, because they're not depraved. What was it called? You know, they've got their weird kind of, you can't say anything. You know, but for a white man, you can say anything. You can say you're disgusting, you're a pervert, you're this and that. A woman in her 45 years of age, because I checked her avatar and her channel. She's a nice lady with kids. She called me a pervert an effing pervert because I said I like younger women. And I said a woman in her 40s, 35, 40, maybe 45. And I'm in my 50s. And I'm a pervert. And like, she looks like a clapped out old banger. Like 45 years of age, she looks like 60. All wrinkles and everything. You know, all miserable. And these people, I can guarantee you, if it was a gay man who said, well, or trans, you know, the new woke stuff, I'm trans, and I, you know, hair and everything, makeup. I want to find a man in his 40s. I'm in my 50s. What's the problem? Oh, nothing. You know, go for it. You go there, girl, or whatever. No one would be fucking complaining. So when this lady said, I think she said, I think about yourself or how I think. You think about how you think. If it was a gay person, you say nothing. If it was a trans person, nothing. But because it's me, you know, I'm the fucking demon. You check your own thinking before you ask me to check my thinking. And then basically I was saying that if I found a young woman, I would suck her blood and then become young myself. It's a fucking joke. And the person takes it seriously. Oh, fucking hell. Oh my goodness. It wouldn't be a bad idea, actually. Get a harem of, like, I better not say it, like 6 or 7 20-year-olds and suck all their energy and then revert to youth. Yeah, people are going to take that seriously. They're going to say, yeah, fucking... I won't say the word. Anyway, I'll speak to you guys in another video. I better stop while I'm ahead. Well, I'm not ahead, but I better stop. Bye.